Thanks for joining. It's a really pleasure to bring you in, and thanks to your client as well, where they just allowed us to take your discussion in the office place. Thank you so much. And pleasure to bring Renu. Renu is our community member, where she has just taken a break and then she just come back to the career and joined Walmart just 2 months back. So that's where it is.
No, hardly 1 month.
Only 1 month back is where she just joined, and then we are looking for getting her insights about what is that preparation she has just made and how she is able to come back. Welcome, Renu. Thanks for joining us, and looking forward to hear your insights for our audience. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Manjula. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to speak in this forum. And so far as I'm concerned, I have taken a break of close to 8 years. 8 years because my husband relocated from Bangalore to UK, and I had 2 small kids. So I was initially planning to take a break of 3 years, but it prolonged and prolonged. Very impossible. I mean, it's practically not possible for me to work in UK because my husband is into a traveling profile, and taking care of kids without any family support is not easy there.
Okay.
So after 8 years, we came back to Bangalore last August.
Okay.
And that is when I started looking for opportunities.
Okay.
And so this opportunity that I got is through Her Second Innings, and they referred my resume here, and it was not an easy task. When I came back, I looked for 3 months for getting through some opportunity, but the break was a big blot in my career.
Absolutely.
And not many consultants were happy to encourage people with a break.
Okay.
So they gave me a lead, and they gave me an opportunity to attend an interview here. And that is how I got through in Walmart.
Nice. It's a really privilege for us to bring you and then make sure you are able to come back and enjoy the financial freedom. So that's where our mission, and we are happy that you have just done that. Thank you so much.
Okay.
So I think it's a time for me to give a credit. I was connecting to the manager to push it across, and I got the mail saying that even though Renu has just got 8 years break, and the kind of quality and the deliverable we are getting is at par with lateral. So that's the really, really awesome where you just made it.
Oh, that's a pleasure to hear that. But it involves a lot of hard work as well. This opportunity is just for 4 hours a day or 20 hours a week. But when I go back from office, I had to take care of my kids, and then once they sleep, I'll have to sit and slog for another 3-4 hours.
Hard work never fails, so that also helps, right? Yeah. So, and that's where we are seeing as a proof for us to know about it. So just to tell us about that, I know about you a little, but audience doesn't know more about it. So I have just seen 5 years you worked, and then you have just taken a break and then come back. And one of the toughest thing where people were finding the corporate to bring the women back is the ability to perform in terms of our technical skills, where literally they were just finding because they have just taken a break how it is. Mm-hmm. And in your case, it's 8 years of a break. Mm-hmm. That was also
the break was more than the experience.
More than the experience, right? But however, the feedback what I got even during the interview as well, it was phenomenal.
Okay.
Right. So that's the thing. But I just saw that you completed your MS in 2014 to 2016. That's the number one. I thought you didn't just relax, or I just got a break. You're continuously working on yourself to just move forward. So that's a plus I was just seeing about it. And even with your masters, I was seeing you are continuously browsing, looking at the articles, what's happening in the industry, trying to upgrade. Mm-hmm. So tell us something. 8 years break, what are the things? These are the known things which I know. Okay. So how else you have just made your 8 years journey upgrading yourself?
Sure. The initial 3 years, when we relocated to UK, we were thinking of a 3-year stint there. Mm-hmm. So I was having a small kid, and so I thought, fine, okay, let me take a sabbatical for 3 years. But after 1 year, I started getting jittery about, oh my God, what is going to happen? And I had my own apprehensions. And then we thought, okay, fine, in 3 years' time, we'll come back to India, and I plan to do a MTech in some of the universities and some of the core institutes.
Okay.
So I started preparing for GATE.
Okay.
And that is the core thing that helped me to come back, because when you study in the college, you hardly get you study for getting marks and getting selected and all. But when you go for the fundamental training, I was looking at the NPTEL, that is National HRD Ministry's video library, mm-hmm. for basics of the computer science courses, like data structures and algorithms and computer networks, basics, fundas. I worked hard on that. And then I attended GATE in 2011.
Okay.
So that is when we were planning to come back. And I was not getting into the cream IITs, but I got a reasonably good percentile. It was 98.7.
Wow. Okay.
So that is the, I mean, when you are a computer engineer, people will look at the fundas. They don't look at what language you know.
Absolutely.
The fundas has to be strong, and for that you need to go through some of these sites. You know, most of these courses are taken by IITs and IIS lecture professors. So it takes a lot of time. But since I was sitting at home, I got opportunity to watch. It is 40 hours for one course.
Okay.
So I had the time to invest in it, and then I prepared. I mastered my fundas. And I cleared my GATE, but then my husband's team got extended for another 3 years.
Okay.
So then he said, okay, fine, wait for 3 more years and let's see what is going to happen. So that 3 years, I had my second kid and I was busy parenting her. And then once I get my residency in UK, I thought, okay, fine, why not try for a master's in UK rather than going back to India? And then I applied to a university which is very close to my house. It's a Newcastle University. And the security department is quite good. And I was keen to move to security. So while I was working on legacy systems like, you know, mainframes and JCL, COBOL and all. So I didn't want to go back to that world. So I would like to switch my profile to security. And so I did my master's in computer security and resilience using that information that I gained during those time for preparing for my GATE and all. Initially, I was 31 when I joined for my master's. I was a bit hesitant. Oh my God, I'll be working, I'll be studying with the kids. But it is not a taboo in England. You know, getting back to work or getting back to studies, it is not a taboo. People take breaks. So, and I was studying with those guys who just graduated from India. So those were there. So initially, I was as good as an anti-material, but it was good. It was fun. And I managed to make that possible. And in fact, I was an outstanding student of my class.
Awesome.
So I had to, I mean, initially it was difficult. The technology has changed. You know, most of the consultants are hesitant to take people with breaks because the technology is changing rapidly. So you need to upgrade yourself. And when I went for my master's, yes, that got me an opportunity to upgrade myself and explore the unexplored avenues of my life.
Awesome.
And that is how I started my baby steps. And once I cleared my master's, I thought, okay, fine. If I can manage my master's with a 10-month-old baby, then I can, why not try for a full-time job? And now my daughter is 4 years, so she's an independent girl. She's going to nursery and all. That is when I look for opportunities back in India. And when I started applying for job opportunities, most of the consultants are very hesitant. You know, 2 years of break is the maximum that we entertain, not beyond that. We don't want people to take so much breaks. And they will be considering you as a lateral. And so you will not be at par with the laterals. So that is when I got to know about this Her Second Innings and this opportunity of back to work in Walmart. So it is a new opportunity. It's a new initiative by the Walmart. So it is 20 hours a week for 6 months. And if you're confirmed, it is a full-time employment. So you don't have to nosedive completely into a full-time opportunity all of a sudden. It is
awesome.
One step at a time.
One step at a time. That's good. So the one thing I understood is, one, you made your fundamentals very clear. So now tell me about it. How did you face the interview? Was the interview also about making sure you're fundamentally strong, or how was that happen?
The interview, I mean, for this opportunity, I had 3 rounds. One is a technical round where they'll be testing you about the, basically this data structures and algorithms. So in that case, you need to have a strong language in your kitty, so that you can explain you'll be asked to implement some stuff and all. So you have to have a language. It could be C, C++, Java or anything, but you need to have a thorough understanding of one language where you can implement the basics. But the interview was not tough like that of a lateral, but it was a diluted form of a lateral interview.
Super. So I think the message we need to give it to the audience, because after the couple of corporate discussion, people will keep asking, the reason of we bringing over here is fundamentals has to be strong, no matter what. The analytical as well as the problem solving, any problem has been given as a computer engineer, how are we solving that? That was even, we had a discussion with the Cisco manager, was just talking about, senior leader came and then spoke about it. Language is a second criteria.
In technical world, I don't think language matters much.
Anything you can learn. Today is a Java, tomorrow it is not even going to be Java, something else.
In my case, I joined in a team hardly 1 month back, and they were having a project. It was written in Golang. So I didn't even hear of that language. It was a very new language. It was developed by Google in 2007. And so we have to create a REST API in Golang. So it is all on the
go where you get it, but the fundamentals has to be very strong about it. So
and you have got all these forums like Stack Overflow and all. So wherever you want, you can ping in and get what you want.
Help. People are ready to help us out to make that. So the fundamental strengthening is a criteria for people to come back, because corporate is going to look for those things.
Yeah.
Right. So that's the first thing. So probably what we just did we are just making an effort to make a bigger success criteria for our women. We have also made the assessment part from the one of the partner, where we are bringing to our women candidate, where they can just go and then assess themselves. Are they strong in the fundamentals? If you're strong in fundamentals, then it becomes easy for us to go and position you to the corporate, saying that they've passed the criteria. No longer we need to test that part of it. And since these partners are doing these assessment for the bigger corporates, MNC and the IT world, if our women are taking those things in their kitty, saying that how you just did that NTPL courses, could have been just take the courses and assess yourself and be confident. For your case, the gate helped you. Right? Yeah, so something like that, to just do that would be the first step for them to just move forward on that. Right? So what else, or how else we can make our women community, our sisterhood, becoming into the working stream of it? What else they have to do apart from preparing for the fundamentals? How are you managing your life now after you just joined back?
Oh yes, that is a question, because once you get used to staying at home, you'll become complacent. Your family also will become complacent. Okay, for everything she's there. We don't have to bother about it. My husband was also taking me for granted. Oh yeah, she's there. But things are changing now. 4 hours, though I'm away from home for 4 hours, it makes some difference. But I feel you don't feel ashamed to take help. In India, you have opportunity. You can hire a maid, or you can have some domestic help. So it is quite easy for Indian women who want to come back. Unlike people who are in the Western world, where you don't have these luxuries of maids and. True. Those things are there. Right. And kids, once they become, it's always good to have a mom who is working than one who is always there, because they'll get too much pampered. That's what I feel.
Absolutely.
They become a bit more independent when they start seeing their mother starting working and all. And I can tell, okay, see, look at me. I have started working. I have taken care. I've done my part, and now I'm doing my second part.
Absolutely, right.
So that is always good. That kids will look up at you.
And it's an encouragement. And as you rightly said, we need a quality time, not the quantity time.
Not the quantity time. And obviously, when you're sitting at home, it is like your social life will be messed up. You'll be doing all these chores, but which was not well valued.
True.
And when you come back to office, you'll have some colleagues, and you can discuss what is happening, and that makes you feel a bit full.
Absolutely, right.
That is, and obviously the financial part as well. You don't have to depend on your husband for anything and everything. You don't have to ask him for money. So
we can be on our own and then enjoy our life, right? Which is needed, right? And why we should just depend on someone else.
Yeah.
We can also take care of someone else now. Yeah. So that's the beauty of it. So thank you. Right. Good. So team, feel free to just ask questions, anything for Renu, and I'm sure people are joining from our other groups as well. So feel free to just put your questions and do that. And meanwhile, as I just said about it, you can also just take the assessment link, which we will share it across with you, and whoever is comfortable, just pick up the assessment. And if you just qualify for it, we can directly just prep you for how to face the interview through the soft skill, and then enable you to just get back to the returnship program. So that's what we are just trying to do over here. Yeah. So while we are just waiting for the people to just prepare themselves to ask a couple of queries, because there is other queries came in the forum when we were just checking about that. Is when you say the fundamental, it's about logical reasoning, program analytical. These are the staffs beyond the language was one of the question which has been the people were asking, because in the interview some of them were understand, and then they were unable to go to the couple of other subsequent rounds as well.
And the main problem is when you go for an interview, you'll be talking to a person one-to-one, and if he suddenly post a question like, how to implement this, how to implement that, you'll be like, even if you know the question, even if you know the answer, you have to be articulate enough to tell him and convince him then and there. So that is a task. You need to prepare yourself. You need to practice, do some mock interviews or something. Even if you do everything, the kind of questions that can be posted to a computer engineer is quite, I mean, it's too vast. They can ask questions from anywhere.
Right.
So it is a bit of blessing that you will be getting the right interviewer at the right time. Otherwise, you can mess around. It's very easy to mess around in an interview. But it's always good to have a strong language, because they don't expect you to write the pseudocode. They'll expect you to write the code. So you need to be thorough with one language where you can write it down.
Okay.
Whatever question that is posted to you, you have to write down the solution in a piece of paper.
Okay.
So you need to have a thorough language. Need not be the one that you're working on, but it's always good to have a strong language.
Super. And the second query which we were just getting it over here is, okay, so this is the candidate where, hi Renu, congrats. How do you find the, should we just go up and understand? How do you find the returnship program in Walmart so far?
This is really good. The team is very good. My manager is also very good. And it is not that somebody will be spoon feeding you everything. You need to be proactive. You need to take your initiative. I was initially thinking of some classroom training for a month or something. It was not like that. You will be put into a proper team, and you will be given some kind of task to work on. Most of the task will be a live project. So you'll be working along with someone, and then you have to make your deliverables fast. So that's how it is. It is good.
It's good. Enjoying it. Right? Looking forward. Okay,
yeah.
Good. That's really nice. Right? So yeah. So one we were talking about is articulating how it is at that time to just do about it. So that's the one part of it. And second, you also just said prepare well advance. It's just not that we know and we can just get through that. I think that is another thing we have to tell our community members, saying that I know you have just done it, but today everything has changed. Not something. Everything is just changing.
Things are changing in a year's time.
In a year's time, even if you work also. So preparation for knowing what's happening in the right time today needs to be upgraded. And then how do we just skill ourselves just to present, yes, we are capable of just doing it? Because for your case, if you look at that, they have just able to get you back into the stream in spite of they have a similar kind of a people outside the world.
Yeah.
So that means you did credentially well to make that happen. They were also looking, you are also, it's a win-win. Both of us have just extended the hand together to make it happen. Yeah. I think that is one of the crux where people have to just go 1 mile extra as well, because we have taken a break. Now it is time for us to brush up and show our skills to just do that. Maybe the returnship would be one of the opportunity, but then you also can just do a lot of advice. It's what is your suggestions for people to just get back? What do you think we should do?
I feel it is always it's always nice to come back. You will appreciate it, and taking a break is never a problem. Taking a break is not a mistake at all. So you have been there with your kids. You have been taking care of their responsibilities when they were toddlers, and this responsibility will never end. Once a toddler is grown to a child, there will be some other responsibility, and once it is a teenager, so that will never end. But I feel we have to do something for ourselves, and I feel we have to do some tangible work. Even if you sit at home, I'm not saying that you're not doing anything, but to make yourself heard. I feel financial independence and those things are needed, and the kids will start looking at you as well. So don't think that taking a break is a mistake. It's always good, but coming back, you have to make the first initiative from your own end to come back, and then start preparing. It's not a big deal to come back. You have to contact the correct person. If you are contacting through the normal Naukri or those kind of recruiters, I don't think you'll be able to come back. You have to contact the correct person and look at the opportunities that is available for you. Don't go for a proper lateral interview, because I went for some walk-in interviews where the first question that is posed to you will be, what is the current project? What is the role that you're doing? Those things will not be answered by a person who took break. So you have to contact the right consultant. You have to look for the right opportunities and then give it a try. It's not a big thing. It's not a big deal.
Super. So the last one. How was your whole experience with Her Second Innings?
It was very nice. I never knew about Her Second Innings until a person called Radha called me for this particular opportunity with Walmart, and it was very nice talking to her. She's not like the regular consultant who speaks, what is your name, what is your experience, those things. There was some personal touch attached to it. And later, I was directed to Manjula, and she asked me to do some coding challenge to brush me up. And then this has been so far so wonderful, and I hope I'll be able to continue with them until I complete my internship.
No, you will continue beyond that as well. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot, and looking forward for the team to just come back and then help us out. So in case of any queries, connect us with support@hersecondinnings.com. We are happy to assist you. As I said, you will also hear us from the assessment part of it, which is critical for you to know for yourself. Are you ready to just get back, or you need to get training? That's all is the assessment is all about. So go for it, and wishing you all the best and have a good day. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Okay.